survival after slavery. Ashanti Ford visited Nicodemus, Kansas.
In Kansas.
There's a lot of creativity in this little community.
And every somewhere in Kansas has a story.
It's an annual event they have in Elk Falls.
But what's around every street corner is a gas.
Every time I go to the bank, cash my check, I tell the girls, I'm going to the Outhouse Festival. And they look at me like, what?
For many people, Kansas is the perfect representation of the diverse American Midwest. Over time, it has grown into a beautiful place. Known for its signature fields of blooming sunflowers, hidden behind this charm are small towns that have nearly slipped off the radar of mainstream tourism and historical recognition. These remote towns are more than just dots on the map. They hold quiet yet meaningful pieces of America's past. From the historical significance of Nicodemus to the artistic appeal of Lucas, each town offers a distinct perspective that stands apart from modern city life. So what can we discover out there? Together, let's uncover the stories of the small, remote towns tucked away in the heart of Kansas. In one part of Harper County, there's a town that even many Kansas residents may not have heard of. That town is Freeport. Located about 90 kilometers from Wichita, the largest city in Kansas, this town isn't just small and fairly remote, it's also one of the least populated towns in the entire United States. According to the latest data, which dates back to 2020, Freeport had only 4 residents. That number alone is enough to describe it as a ghost town. It's not only quiet, the town reportedly have a school, a church, or even basic services that are typically found in small communities. And yet, back in the late 19th century, Freeport was a growing town, home to nearly 1,000 people. So how do the remaining locals manage to survive? The truth is, Freeport wasn't always on the edge of extinction. For many years, it held the title of being the smallest incorporated town in Kansas. But in November 2017, it officially lost that status and became an unincorporated community due to its dramatically declining population. It's a common issue seen in many small towns across America, where the migration to big cities has left numerous communities nearly empty. Despite its tiny population, Freeport still holds on to several buildings that remind us of its past. The old church, even though it's now closed, still stands as a silent witness to a time when the town had a more active life. Similarly, a few commercial buildings remain empty, serving as visual reminders of how depopulation has reshaped this area. Nicodemus, a small town in northwestern Kansas that carries powerful historical meaning. Founded in 1877 by formerly enslaved African Americans seeking freedom and opportunity, it stands as a symbol of resilience and hope. Located in Graham County, about 50 miles from the regional city of Hayes, Nicodemus may be small, but its story is significant. Covering an area of around 83.66 square kilometers, the town is often described as a ghost town due to its extremely low population. At one point, it was reported to have just 20 residents, and by 2023, some sources even listed its population as 0. Yet, despite its decline in numbers, Nicodemus remains a national historic site that preserves important buildings from the late 19th century. This town offers visitors a rare opportunity to connect with the legacy of African American pioneers who built a new life after the Civil War. Though farming once drove the local economy, today Nicodemus is centered on cultural heritage tourism. Visitors come to walk through its history, explore its preserved sites, and take part in annual traditions like the Emancipation Celebration, also called Homecoming. Nicodemus is quiet, but its legacy continues to speak volumes. In the quiet heart of Kansas, about 35 miles northwest of Independence, there's a small town that proudly calls itself by an unusual nickname, the world's largest living ghost town. This is Elk Falls. A tiny settlement founded in 1871 and named after a small waterfall on the gentle flowing Elk River nearby. Although its population has steadily declined over time, Elk Falls has not disappeared. On the contrary, this town, with just 113 residents according to 2020 data, has embraced its calm and quirky charm as its greatest appeal, offering a one-of-a-kind experience. Each year, Elk Falls hosts a unique event known as the Outhouse Tours. Visitors walk through the town to view a lineup of outdoor toilets decorated in bizarre, whimsical, and creative styles. Humor and originality breathe life into this nearly silent town, blending nostalgia, silliness, and strong local pride. But Elk Falls is more than a nickname or a quirky festival. It's a town that celebrates its remoteness with pride. While many small towns race to modernize, Elk Falls preserves its authenticity and odd charm as cultural treasures. Those who visit find not just waterfalls and frontier history, but a quiet reflection on slow, honest, and simple living. Next on the list is Agenda, a tiny town tucked away in the northern part of Elk Creek Township in Republic County. As of the 2020 census, it had a population of just 47 people. The town's name is unique. It comes from Latin and means things that must be done. But perhaps even more unusual, Agenda is officially considered an extinct town because it no longer has a post office. The first post office was established on February 11, 1874, but it closed less than a decade later. Agenda was developed in 1887 along the Chicago, Rock Island, and Pacific Railroad. Up until 1910, it remained a stop along that rail line. Back then, the station included a money order post office with rural delivery routes, an express and telegraph office, several general stores, a bank, and even a grain elevator. The town reached its peak population in 1920 with 239 residents. But in the decades that followed, the number steadily declined. The final post office shut down in October 1998. Today, Agenda still has a handful of homes, some small businesses, an active Methodist church, and a downtown district along Railroad Street with a grain elevator and a few abandoned commercial buildings. Unlike the towns mentioned earlier, Hollenberg isn't a ghost town filled with abandoned buildings. Instead, this town in Washington County, about 15 miles from the Kansas-Nebraska border, is known for its old structures nestled among natural beauty and outdoor charm. Even so, with its remote location deep in rural Kansas, Hollenberg ranks among the quietest towns in the United States, with only 15 people living there based on 2023 data. A few buildings still stand, including the post office, which has been in use since 1872, the same year G.H. Hollenberg founded the town. As noted, Hollenberg is known for its scenic nature and outdoor lifestyle. From hiking trails to pretty parks and peaceful lakes, it offers a lot for nature lovers to enjoy. There are also historic sites and local food spots to explore. Still, the town's isolated location and lack of public transportation can be a challenge for visitors. Have you ever heard of a town called Lucas? With a population of around 400 people, it's known as the Grassroots art capital of Kansas, offering a one-of-a-kind creative experience for artists and art lovers alike. Located in north-central Kansas in Russell County, Lucas is home to the famous Garden of Eden, a striking sculpture park built by Samuel P. Dinsmore in the early 1900s. Visitors can also check out the quirky Bowl Plaza, a public restroom turned art attraction, along with several galleries that showcase local folk art. While farming remains a key industry, it's the vibrant art scene that truly sets Lucas apart from other remote towns. Its isolation is actually part of its charm. The town's out-of-the-way location helps foster a close-knit community and an atmosphere that inspires creativity. Without a doubt, Lucas delivers a rare blend of quiet rural life and artistic expression, making it a hidden gem in the wide Kansas landscape. Abilene might look like a simple town, but beneath that simplicity lies a deep connection to one of the most influential American figures of the 20th century. Often named one of the best small towns, it was the childhood home of World War II hero and U.S. President Dwight Eisenhower. Located in east central Kansas in Dickinson County, Abilene gives visitors a chance to explore a major piece of American heroism. The town features Eisenhower's burial site, a museum, and a library filled with everything related to the 34th president. During his life, Eisenhower made it clear he loved this town just as much as it loved him. But don't worry, if visiting a grave doesn't sound too exciting, Abilene also offers some quirky attractions. This town, home to more than 184,000 people, claims to have the world's largest belt buckle, measuring 20 by 14 feet. What do you think? Still in east central Kansas, aside from Abilene, it's hard not to mention Council Grove. With around 2,100 residents, this town makes the list for features like Hermit's Cave, once home to a Christian mystic who lived in solitude and gave sacraments to travelers along the Santa Fe Historic Trail. Today, the cave is maintained by the National Park Service. Part of Council Grove's charm is that, despite its size, it holds 15 entries on the National Register of Historic Places. Among them is the Oak Post Office, which predates the organized mail system. Settlers would leave letters on the tree, and passing travelers would carry them along their journey. Moving into central Kansas, here we find the town of Wilson, home to just over 700 people. It sits peacefully near the shores of Wilson Lake, often called the clearest lake in Kansas. Driving into town, you're greeted by a calm atmosphere mixed with outdoor activities like boating, fishing, hiking, and camping. Interestingly, Wilson takes pride in its Czech heritage, celebrated each year during the After Harvest Czech Festival, featuring traditional music, dance, and food. Its most famous symbol is the world's largest Czech egg, proudly standing in the town center. The local economy thrives thanks to tourism brought in by the lake, supported by small-scale farming. Like other remote towns, Wilson's sense of isolation is enhanced by its setting among rolling hills and natural scenery, creating a peaceful environment far from the busy pace of city life. Its blend of outdoor beauty and rich cultural roots offers a getaway that feels both restful and meaningful to visitors seeking relaxation and local tradition. Try experiencing it for yourself. The final town on the list is one with a bit of eccentric charm. Welcome to Cottonwood Falls, a picture of small-town peace in the heart of Kansas's Flint Hills. Nestled between hills and wide grasslands, it gives off a naturally beautiful and definitely remote feel. With a population of about 900 people, Cottonwood Falls is home to the historic Chase County Courthouse, the oldest working courthouse in the state, known for its beautiful Second Empire-style architecture. Nearby, the Tallgrass Prairie National Preserve offers visitors a chance to explore one of the last remaining tallgrass prairie ecosystems, complete with miles of hiking trails. Beyond nature, charming boutiques and local restaurants line the quaint main street, creating a welcoming vibe. The town's economy is rooted in cattle ranching and farming, reflecting a deep connection to the land and the rhythms of rural life. Yes, its isolation stems from its countryside setting, minimal urban development, and a strong commitment to preserving natural landscapes. This town offers a peaceful escape into Kansas's signature rural charm, serene, authentic, and deeply calming.